Welcome my dear students of class 9A to my civics class. Today's topic, the making of our constitution. The making of our constitution. The making of our constitution. Points as I mentioned: constitution, date of adoption, constituent assembly, composition, working of the constituent assembly. First point, constitution. What is constitution? Constitution is a written document of rules and regulations of a country's administration, administrative forms, and a legal document backed by the force of law. This is known as constitution. Constitution defines the structure of the government in written form. It defines not only the functions and powers of the Prime Minister, President and other agencies under the government, but also the duties and rights of the citizens of the country. The Constitution of India came into effect, declaring India as a sovereign, democratic and secular state. Now we should discuss about the adoption. When did the Constitution of India adopted? When did it adopt? When did the Constitution of India adopt? Now I am going to discuss. On January 26, 1950, the 34th and the last Governor General of India, Chakravarti Raja Gopalachari, read out a proclamation announcing the birth of the Republic of India. Chakravarti Raja Gopalacharya, the 34th and the last Governor General of India. Last Governor General of India, Chakravarti Raja Gopalacharya, 34th and the last Governor General of India, Chakravarti Raja Gopalachari, read out a proclamation announcing the birth of the Republic of India. So this is the adoption of the Constitution of India. And next one, General Assembly. What is General Assembly? Next point, General Assembly. The Constituent Assembly. Next one, Constituent Assembly. What is Constituent Assembly? Constituent Assembly was the body that framed the Constitution of India. Constituent Assembly was the body that framed the Constitution of India. The British administration in India had made provisions for framing new constitution for India under the Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946. So the intention was to draw up the structure of the new nation, and then English Crown would hand over power to the Indian people to enable them to take up new positions based on the structure of government and specified by the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly had two roles to play. Number one, to set up the interim government till the Constitution came into force and a government was appointed. Number two, to frame the Constitution of India. To set up the interim government till the Constitution came into force and a government was appointed. Second, to frame the Constitution of India. So these are the two most important roles the Constituent Assembly has to play. The members of the Constituent Assembly were elected from provincial governments, and some members are nominated to represent the princely states, so that the assembly represented the diversity of India. The diversity would help the members of the Constituent Assembly to keep in mind every community, caste and religion while framing the Constitution, while framing the various clauses of the Constitution. Since India is a country of different languages, different cultures, different customs and traditions, and different communities. So, this is very important to maintain diversity by providing equal facilities to each community, to each language, to each culture, to each custom and tradition, so that everyone must exercise their own cultural values independently. Everyone can be treated equally. That's why this diversity help members of the Constituent Assembly to keep in mind every community, caste, religion while framing the various clauses of the Constitution. So various clauses of the Constitution have given us a number of facilities so that each and every person can exercise each and every person's rights independently without being obstructed by anyone else. Now, composition of the Constituent Assembly. In 1946, three members of the British cabinet, A.V. Alexander, Patrick Lawrence and Sir Stafford Cripps, put forward certain proposals to solve the constitutional deadlock in India. They decided that the Legislative Assembly of the provinces were to elect the members of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly had 389 members, 392 elected from the provinces and 93 from princely states of India. However, after independence, the formation of the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan, the number of members got reduced. In July 1946, elections to the Constituent Assembly were held, but Muslim League boycotted the assembly and demanded a separate state for Pakistan. On August 15, 1947, the Indian Independence Act was passed, and accordingly, India was partitioned into two separate independent states, India and Pakistan, following which the British transferred their authority. The Constituent Assembly included representatives. So this is the composition of the Constituent Assembly. Now, working of the Constituent Assembly. Last point, working of the Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly included representatives from all sections of the Indian society. Some of the prominent members were the national leaders of India, such as Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Vallabhbhai Patel, Sardar Baldev Singh, and so on. So other religions and communities had their representatives too, such as Frank Anthony, who spoke for the Anglo-Indians, and Dr. H.B. Modi, who represented the Parsis. Women such as Sarojini Naidu, Durgabai Deshmukh, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, and Vijay Lakshmi Pandit gave valuable inputs towards preparing the framework of the Constitution. So naturally, these were the people, distinguished people. The Constituent Assembly, they play an important role in the Constituent Assembly while framing the Constitution of India. And Constituent Assembly took almost 3 years time to complete its historic task of drafting the Constitution for independence of India. During the period, it held 11 sessions covering a total of 165 days. And of these, 114 days were spent on the draft of the Constitution. The Constitution of India came into effect declaring India as a sovereign, democratic and secular state. Dr. Rajendra Prasad took an oath as the first president of the new republic on December 9, 1946. At 11 a.m., the first session of the Constituent Assembly was held in the Central Hall of the Parliament House in Delhi, in New Delhi, which was attended by 207 members. Dr. Sachidananda Sinha was appointed as the temporary chairman of the Constituent Assembly, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the president of the Constituent Assembly. So this is about the Constituent Assembly and the working of the Constituent Assembly. Up to this, my dear, next day they will be. Thank you.